Alright, y'all. So the first part of this Nearpod is we're going to be looking at the rise of communism. All of these are just going to be a review over what we've already looked at and done. So let's start this off right here. Look, there's your standard right there. Explain the conflict and change in Europe. A, describe the aftermath of World War One, the rise of communism. That's what we're checking out here. Okay, so let's move on. There is a video here. You had the opportunity to watch that when we went over the rise of communism. So let's move on. All right, so Russia and the revolution. Well, remember Nicholas II, he is the Tsar. He is the last Tsar. And what does Tsar mean? Well, Tsar means king. We have that right here. Okay, he tries to improve the way of life, but World War One kind of derails all that. And if you don't know what the word derail means, it messes it up. Okay, so that's one thing that you need to understand is World War One is really what kind of spells the end for old Nicholas II. Okay, now one thing he does try to do is he tries to create the Trans-Siberian Railway, which is, if we look on this next slide, okay, that is a railroad that connects all of Russia. Okay, which is good. It helped their economy a lot, and that's something great he did. But at the same time, he kind of ran into some bad stuff, okay, like World War One. Okay, so Russia, we know, is going to participate in World War One from 1914 to 1917. Okay, 4 million Russian soldiers die. Not what we want. Okay, that's not good. So a lot of people are going to die. It drains the government of its money. Okay, Nicholas II feels like, hey, we should just keep putting more money and more money into it. It's not the way it works. Okay, that really kind of pushes people to not have anything like food. Okay, all right, guys, if you don't have food, you don't have money, you're not going to survive very long. So World War One, understand, is going to drain the government of its money and of its food because Nicholas I was putting all its money toward the military and like guns and all the different technologies used in World War One. Also, they kept putting their food toward the war. Okay, you got to feed an army, right? Well, every time they put their food toward it, the people back home were suffering. Now, you're going to have a revolution. We know revolution means change, right? What kind of change are they going to have? Well, in early 1917, you're going to have a citywide strike in St. Petersburg, which is one of the bigger cities in Russia. Women, workers, and farmers all want change. Well, they're going to go on strike. Okay, I mean, they're not going to work anymore. The army is going to turn against the Tsar and join the citizens. That's the last thing you want if you are Tsar Nicholas II. Your own men are now turning against you. And what happens to him right here? Him and the family are captured. Due to Russia's participation in World War One, there were food shortages. We got that. Millions were killed and soldiers didn't have enough supplies. Germany was winning the war. Okay, so at the time, we know that Germany is on the other side. They are part of the Axis powers, right? Okay, or the Central powers in World War One. The Central powers in World War One. And on the other side, you have where Russia is with France and the United Kingdom and the United States. They're in the Allied powers, right? Okay. Well, Germany's winning right now. Okay, so Russia, the Russian citizens kind of feel like it's a lost cause, right? Okay, so they feel like change is needed and the Tsar didn't act upon it. Well, we know what happens to the Tsar. He's captured, right? Him and his family. Who are the radicals? Radicals being people who have off-the-wall ideas on how to fix things. Okay, that would be the Bolsheviks. The Bolsheviks want a communist dictatorship of the workers. Okay, they want communism. The Bolsheviks want communism. Understand this. Bolsheviks. Okay, this word right here. The Mensheviks, they want an elected leader. They want more democracy. Okay, all right. Both parties, both sets of group of people are radicals. They just want revolution. They want something different. They don't want a monarchy. They don't want a czar. They don't want a king. All right. Well, we're talking about the rise of communism. We got to talk about what the heck is communism. Okay? So let's dissect this definition. Communism is a political system characterized by a centrally planned economy with all economic and political power resting in the hands of the central government. What does that mean? That means that the government controls everything. Literally everything. You have zero rights. Now, on the other side of it, understand that communism also means that everyone is supposed to be equal. Everybody's supposed to have jobs, housing, all the same food. Okay, now does that mean they have a lot of it? No, it just means you all have the same. It's all equal. Everybody has the same amount. Okay, all right. So the government controls everything and decides what everybody has, what everybody can do, and what they cannot do. Okay, all right. Some current communist countries in the world. You got North Korea. You have Cuba. Okay. China is sort of, they're trying to get away from it, okay? But understand, communism is still in effect today, and this is what the Soviet Union's going to go to, okay? And let's think about why. Well, what do they not have? They don't have food. They don't have jobs, okay? All right? They don't have any of those things, right? They don't have houses, a lot of them. So you got a lot of poor people, small amount of rich people. So what's going to happen? Well, communism is going to take over because it makes everything on an equal playing field. Although the government still controls everything, people feel like, hey, this will work for us. All right. Now, before the communists take over, there's going to be a new government set in place, but it doesn't work. Okay? So you're going to have another revolution. The second revolution is won by the communists led by Vladimir Lenin. He takes over, and the Soviet Union is officially born. Okay? The Tsar and his family, unfortunately, they are executed. Not what we want, but at the end of the day, that's what happened. You got to be real. Okay? If you don't know what executed means, they were killed. Okay? The Tsar and his family are killed by the Communist Party. Okay? Why do they kill everybody? Because you don't want one of the royal family all of a sudden popping up one day saying, hey, I'm supposed to be the ruler here. They don't want that, so they get rid of them. So now Russia is the Soviet Union. All right, couple things. Propaganda. We kind of touched on this. A lot of the communists use propaganda, okay, to kind of spread their ideas. Well, what is that? Okay, propaganda is the spread of ideas, information, or rumor for the purpose of helping or injuring an institution, a cause, or a person. You generally want to appeal to an emotion, okay? Mostly political, encouraging nationalism, okay? I've explained this to some of y'all before, okay? Think of something that you really like, okay? I know a lot of us, maybe we like soccer, we like football, okay? Basketball, sports in general, okay? Imagine if a leader all of a sudden said that the person they're running against hates soccer, or they hate football, or they hate basketball or baseball, okay? Well, you love it, right? So are you going to like that other person? You going to like the person running against that person? No. You're going to like the guy who says, hey, I love football. I love soccer, right? Okay? So I'm sorry if this doesn't make sense, but understand they're going to use whatever they can to make you not like the other person. Okay? All right? It's been used all over time. It's still used today. Okay, if you have a question about propaganda, you can ask Miss Coleman. Okay, I know she's in there with you right now. You can ask her. She'll help you out. Okay, all right. Now these are some pictures of propaganda here. Okay, all right. This is what the the Soviets would use to kind of put down the Tsar. This is supposed to be the Tsar. Well, what do people not have? Money and food. Right? This dude is large. He's husky. He's kind of fat, right? Okay? If we look at him, he's obviously been eating. What do the people not have? Food. Are you going to like this guy if you don't have food or if you don't have money? No. So you're going to support the Communist Party. Okay? And this is another one. Okay? You got the leaders kind of running away in favor of the Communist Party. What do we have here? We have the Tsar and the elected officials, okay, the king, people in the church of Russia. We have these guys, this is the peasants, okay, carrying the load. Who carries the country on their back? The peasants, okay? The people, the poor people. All right, and the last one right here, we have Vladimir Lenin right here. What is he in shape of? He looks like he's the sun, right? Well, what does the sun do for us? Sun brings us warmth, okay? We have to have the sun to survive, okay? This is putting Vladimir Lenin in a positive light, okay? All right. In a second, you're going to click over. A few questions you're going to have to answer. 1. What do you remember about the rise of communism in Russia? You type that out. 2. Name 3 reasons World War I helped lead to the rise of communism in Russia during 1917. 3. How might the rise of communism look to someone who has no job, money, or place to live? 4. What might have happened in Russia if the communists never took control and Tsar Nicholas stayed in power? Those are a few things I want you to think about. You're going to answer these when you hit next on the Nearpod.